Welcome to Raw Mind Sports, where we dig into the minds of athletes and sports fanatics. I'm your host, Ryan Primetime Jones. If you have a love and passion for sports, then this is the show for you. I got my guy out of California in the Sunshine State, Golden State, however they call it. They call him Mr. Austin Sear. How are you doing, man? And how does it feel to be out there in California? How's the weather out there, actually?
How's the weather out there? Typically fantastic. Right now, it feels like I'm back in my home state of Arizona, though. We're going through a heat wave right now, and every single thing in my bathroom is stuck together or is turned to liquid. So that's what I'm dealing with right now.
Man, it's so great to have you on the show. I've been waiting for you for a while. So let's start. I'm going to dig into your mind. Let's get into these topics. How do you feel about LeBron to the Lakers?
Well, as a Phoenix Suns fan on this one, I'm absolutely disgusted by this scenario. But as a fan of the NBA, I got to say it's an exciting move, and it makes a lot of sense for LeBron James, both the basketball player and the brand. More so the brand than the basketball player. I had been speculating before where I thought the best place for him to go. And in my opinion, the best option for long-term success and short-term success was going to be Philadelphia or Boston, considering that they've got win now pieces. If you're Boston, you're over there. We'll sit with Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward. And alternatively, though, you've got these dudes who are ready to blossom in the long-term, decade-long stars in this league, both Boston and Philadelphia. And I was thinking that if LeBron James was able to go to a place that young, up-and-coming talent, he can be the man right now, but then he can do something similar to that Tim Duncan did. As when Tim Duncan got older in his career, he was able to play when he's 39 years old because he didn't have to be the superstar that he once was. He could keep his minutes in the 20s, miss games here and there, and then show up big in the playoffs. And for those reasons, I was expecting him to go to one of those two other organizations. Going to the Lakers, LeBron James' decisions on a level that few others have even come close to. He went to Cleveland. He went to Cleveland to bring his hometown a ring. Who have we ever heard of who's like, I'm gonna skip on the max payment somewhere else, or I'm gonna skip on the best champ, win a championship, and instead be motivated by some alternative reason. The only other guy I can think of is Fisher with the Lakers, moved from Utah to LA so he had better health care for his daughter who has cancer. I mean, besides those weird things, LeBron makes decisions for entirely reasons, and going to the Lakers fits right with it. It's good for the brand of LeBron. He's able to make a blue chip franchise in the league and resurrect them. Talking about a team that was far away from the playoffs last season. So him coming in, and if he's able to instill a chapter with the Lakers organization, that's just going to keep him on his own entire level of concern. So much as it sucks as a Suns fan, as an NBA fan, as a LeBron fan, I got to give the man credit. Way to go, and I wish him nothing but luck. All those people out here in LA facing those murals, y'all got to.
Bad look he's having because they actually keep trying to tear him down, which is absurd. I said the same thing. LeBron going there was more of LeBron the brand. But honestly, people probably don't even look at it like this. But looking at this team right here, defensively, they could, with LeBron James acclimated to the Los Angeles Lakers, I feel like this team is better than the Cleveland Cavaliers he had defensively.
I would agree right there. I've had that conversation. I would have that conversation too. Like if you take LeBron off of the Lakers or last year's Cavs in 2018-2019 season, which team is winning, the Lakers or the Cavs? Cavs led by Kevin Love, Korver, J.R. Smith, I guess, or the Lakers now, even with Lance Stevenson, Rondo, Ball, Kuzma, Ingram. Like, I'm with you, man. I'm taking the Lakers.
Right, I say the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. If this Melo, we'll talk about that in a few. I feel like if Melo doesn't get to Houston, I think they could possibly go to the West Conference Finals. People probably look at me like I'm crazy. But reason why? Because the guys he got, like Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma. The only problem, they wouldn't beat Golden State. But I feel like the team right now with LeBron, they long and lanky. They're going to be great defensively because they added Rondo, they added Lance Stevenson. The thing about it, they're not trying to play the ball of Golden State. They're not going to beat Golden State. So let's go and get that clear. But everybody else in the Western Conference, I feel like they are competitive against them. So I feel like they can beat Houston because you don't know how healthy Chris Paul's going to be. Sure. And defensively, a lot of people don't give Lonzo Ball a lot of credit. He's great defensively. Rondo is great defensively, even though he's older, but he's still great. Lance Stevenson is. This team is built to like get more stops. They're not trying to get into the pace of the running gun because they're not gonna be in a running gun with anybody. They're just on to the perspective of, hey, I'm gonna take whatever the shot is given to me, and we're gonna go from there. Not because really, we look at the only two shooters they have is KCP consistently and possibly Kyle Kuzma on a consistent basis.
Maybe.
Right, I agree. So I'm saying you don't know, and to beat Golden State or any team in the West, you gotta be able to shoot the jump shot.
And
even to beat Houston, you gotta be able to hit that jump shot a few times. Cause you can't depend on referees to give you them 2-3 calls, them and ones. It ain't happening. So you gotta hope that you get those. So they're relying on their defense and their showtime.
Is that the only way you can beat Golden State is by outshooting them? Or is there a way that is some basketball mind out there able to construct some route where you can beat Golden State playing a different style of ball?
Honestly, I was talking because as in me coaching years and coaching AAU for years, I was saying to myself the other day, I was like, I know coaches are mind boggled by the fact that how do you stop a team like this with this type of artillery? And really, it's not even just their shooting ability. It's their ability to move out the basketball. The person with the ball is really not the most dangerous. Yeah, they score, but it's their ability to find open guys. And every shot these guys Golden State gets are good shots.
Right.
You know, certain shots are bad shots or forced. Every shot they take are good shots. They're uncontested shots, whether it's an easy layup, backdoor, to the cut to clay, or the pick and pop. Even sometimes with Draymond getting shots, they're good shots. My thing is, if I was the coach, I'm not saying it's going to work. If I'm coaching against Golden State or anybody else, I'm going to try to run the shot clock down. I'm possibly going to try to find a way to get a matchup with Steph on one of my players. And it got to be a player that's willing to attack Steph. You got to wear him down. Because that's the least. I mean, Klay Thompson is underrated defensively. Draymond is a good defender. So you got to go after somebody, but run the clock down. I'm telling you, if you get into this running gun game with Golden State and you missing jump shots, you'll be down by 20 within 2 minutes. And not only that, even if you up by 15 with 3-4 minutes left, all it takes is 5 good possessions for Golden State because their ability to hit the jump shot to be right back in the game. The game is never over with them. So, though, it's like you're playing Russian roulette when you're playing with Golden State. Now they add Boogie Cousins, a dominant guy, which will fit their spot. I don't see him say he needs the ball a lot, but he's going to fit well because he's going to be able to get a lot of ISOs. So, even now they got a guy. If they're not hitting their shots, they got a guy that can say he can get those matchups. Because let's be real, ain't nobody doubling nobody. You can't double Golden State. You know, certain teams you can double, you can't double Golden State. So you're on the island on your own, and you got to play defense. That's the thing. You got to slow the ball down and make them play defense. And I know people probably say they're good at defense, but hey, I'd rather wear them down for 24 seconds. Because eventually, by the fourth quarter, that can happen and wear them down. But the thing about them, they have depth. So they get rest in certain times when certain teams don't get rest. So that's like an example. Well, we'll get to that in a few. I'm going to describe that in another topic. But in order for Golden State to beat a team like Golden State, you got to have some depth.
Yeah.
Meaning you got guys. You can have a guy that's playing 48 minutes a game, and you got Steph Curry sitting down for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, and they still up. Then you got KD sitting down for about 5, 10 minutes.
You got to be intense. You got to hit them hard. You got to be rested because you got to throw them off their game. The Golden State Warriors play childlike ball, and they're just whimsical. They're just happy. They're just doing their thing. So you got to make them scared. You got to throw them on the ground. You got to mess them up. I mean, you got to throw a little old schoolness in there because you're not going to outshoot them. You're not. You're too good.
To my next topic, how do you feel about PG going back to OKC?
I love this move in a place where we've just seen so many people dismiss relationships and chase other things. For Paul George to say that Oklahoma City taking a gamble on him, trading Oladipo away to the Pacers, and bringing him on with no clarity of what the future was going to hold, and Paul George then saying, we have unfinished business here. I love this organization. I love Russ. I just thought it was refreshing. And I think that it's an amazing duo as well. If we're talking about big two duos, you know, whether it's Harden and Paul George, whether it's Curry and Durant, whether it's, you know, pick a squad, Embiid and Simmons. I know that the Oklahoma City matchup hasn't worked well, but there's no reason on paper that Russell Westbrook and Paul George should not be two of the best 1-2 punches on any team in the NBA, period. So, we'll see.
We'll see.
I agree. I felt like that was a good move then too. You know, certain players don't. I'm not saying Paul George's not a big market guy, but you know, he played in Indiana, and you got a small area like OKC, you can be relaxed, not a lot of pressure. That's the difference. I think what made his decision like easier. He got the money he wanted here. If it was more for money, then he got the money he wanted because he wouldn't have got that money in LA because LeBron would have probably took that, so he would pretty much have to get basically the scraps of the budget. And Magic already told you that, hey, I'm trying to build for 2 years. I already got one. He already knew it was a no-brainer. It was not hard to sign LeBron to this team because it was already there. And Magic knew that. Magic didn't really have to do too much talking because he already knew. I'm thinking LeBron already had this decision made a year ago before he even went. And people probably don't know, but he's the type of guy, he keeps you, on your toes, hoping that he gonna do something there. He probably knew that. But back then on Paul George. Paul George playing this area, with OKC fits him perfect because of the fact he could get the same shots and he doesn't have to be the person who has all the pressure on him.
Right.
And LA, yeah, you do and yeah, you don't. But the thing about it, like, they either get Nolan Noel, now they got Schrader, regardless of the situation. He's going to be a solid backup to Westbrook if, the situation prevails. Now you got a guy who can shoot. You still got Ferguson. You got Anthony Robinson back. But by far, when Anthony Robinson got hurt, defensively, their stats went.
Yeah.
It plummeted. So, only thing about Anthony Robinson, he's great defensively. But God knows he is horrific on the offensive end. From the free throw line.
Yeah.
In the jump shot. I'm not saying he can't do nothing else on the offensive end. Of course, he get the backdoor cut. Most shooting guards do got some type of skill set where they can hand shoot the ball here and there. Robinson just is like unorthodox type of offensive. He has an unorthodox type of style. So I knew when PG made this move, like, this was perfect. And I'm not saying they can't get to the West Conference Finals. Now they don't have Carmelo. Carmelo's asked for the ball. Now they had guys on their team where they know their roles. Steven has to get the ball when he get it. Paul George gets, Westbrook and Paul George's team. Now you got guys who be able to play their roles at peace without them thinking, I have to get this person touches.
Right.
So everybody knows their roles. So that's why I go with. To another topic, man. Melo going to Houston. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if it matters, man. Like, we're just talking about how Oklahoma got better when they dropped Melo. Are we going to be saying next year around this time that Houston got better when they dropped Melo? Why not, right? Like, if here's the only saving grace. Melo was on a near $30 million contract. He was still being looked at as one of those guys. Now he's a different kind of guy, and I'm not saying there's not a place for him, but you need to know the dude can still shoot. The dude's still a good one-on-one player. If they can find the right role for him, they're still using that fruit. But I just don't want to see him slow it down. I don't want to see a D'Antoni and Chris Paul and James Harden slow down. If he can pull something out, great. I'm glad he's going to be playing for a winner over there. But I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
The thing with me is, for them to beat Golden State, they got to stop that ISO ball. James Harden goes into that time with his ISO ball. The 2 games they beat Golden State, it was a lot of ball movement. Everybody was getting the ball. Then they went to ISO ball, and they seen themselves get beat by 20, 25, or probably even less. It wasn't close. I just say that. So you can't do that to beat, Golden State. And that's the problem. You isolate and you got everybody standing still. And that makes Golden State's style of play easy. Right. So if you play ISO ball, it gives the team, the whole team, rest to see what you're going to do, and it doesn't really make them work on the defensive end. So that's my take. Now you add another ISO player in Carmelo. In a Mike D'Antoni offense.
And it already failed once, right? They played this game before.
Right. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, they saying it's going to work. Then you're banking on Chris Paul. And I got a love for Chris Paul, because I always like Chris Paul. But Chris Paul stays hurt. I'm not saying he's going to be hurt again. I hope not.
He just always is.
I'm just saying that. Right. And then, if you depending on James Harden defensively, now Trevor Ariza is in there.
He's with the Phoenix Suns now. That's right. We got him over in Phoenix now. So
So I think that's gonna be something to it's what how's I put it? The jury is still out for them. The jury is still out. So my next topic, the Kawhi and DeMar trade. How do you feel about
I'm
that?
not surprised if this ends up being similar to what we saw happen with another individual we just discussed in Paul George and what the Oklahoma City Thunder did in trading him out, a disgruntled star, to the Indianapolis Pacers, and making the deal that they did, basically Oladipo for Paul George, but this time DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard thing, first off, this dude is a wild card unlike any wild card we've seen. I remember Greg Popovich a couple years ago saying, someone asked, like, "Oh, what are you looking to learn from Kawhi? What do you expect to see from him?" He's like, "Man, it's your what his voice sounds like." So even though Kawhi has always done his job, people still have no real idea what his mental is about, and he's a psychological wild card for that. He wasn't going to work in San Antonio. We saw him take the whole year off. They were able to go ahead and take a disgruntled player who they were going to get nothing from anyways, and get a true star in DeMar DeRozan, an efficient player, a player with his head low to the ground, all the best ways. And I'm excited to see what Greg Popovich is able to do with a player like DeMar DeRozan. His job, a guy who's not he fits right into the San Antonio system as far as I'm concerned. And mind, San Antonio last year was to make the playoff with LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, DeJounte Murray, who was an NBA teamer this year, youngest dude to that, he didn't start. So I think that San Antonio is going to be better off than they were last year. They've got a star playing. They had a star not playing last year. LaMarcus Aldridge shouldn't lose a step. DeJounte Murray is playing really well. DeMar DeRozan looks good. And Toronto, I mean, I'm not just like we saw Paul George go to Oklahoma City and stay the year. I don't know why. I think there's a decent chance Kawhi ends up staying in Toronto after that as well. Maybe, but it's an interesting shot. I think it's pretty cool. I think San Antonio did a great. I think that Toronto made a big. We'll see how that plays out.
Right. And I'm looking at these guys' stats, man. Like me personally, Kawhi going to Toronto is good, but I think they got like no name guys but they're deep. But my thing is him in Toronto. I'm just being honest here on Raw Mind Sports. If these guys can coexist, I don't see nobody in these beating Boston. With a healthy Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Those two can't go nowhere. And that's what I was going to say in my later topic about the GM and Danny Ainge. So I don't see nobody saying they can't coexist. They're going to have to coexist. Where them boys going to go? Jason Tatum not going nowhere. And he's not going to get rid of Jaylen Brown. They're the future. So these guys are, even though they came into a significant role this year, whatever the role may be, I feel like Brad Stevens is a coach to do it. I feel like Brad Stevens is a unique coach that can get anything done and make the best out of whatever he has. And now he has what he has to make things happen. But I'm looking at Kawhi Leonard's 2016 stats. He had 25 points a game. DeMar DeRozan 2016 averaged 27.3. In 2017, 16.2. DeMar DeRozan 23. Well, of course, you know, Kawhi Leonard was out 2017. He only played 9 games. And, you know, he had 23.0, but he still had 16.2. Career stats, I'm looking at durability, games played overall. Kawhi Leonard's games played was 407. DeMar DeRozan had 675 games ahead. And their stats, career stats are just about, they're not too much ahead. You know, DeMar DeRozan averages 19.7 for career, and Kawhi Leonard averages 16.3. And this is where I get it, like, but I feel the same way you feel. One thing I said about Greg Popovich, I'll tell us about it earlier, that he's the one guy that can make mediocre players look like all-stars. He can hide every mediocre or not high-rated player's weaknesses and make them look like they just nothing but just playing to their strengths.
Boris Diaw, Danny Green.
Oh my God, Danny Green was on the practice squad with Cleveland Cavaliers before he got the the San Antonio.
But that's what make, I think, Greg Popovich, in my opinion, the greatest basketball coach of all time. And that's he is uniquely able to maximize his players' strengths and minimize their weaknesses with the system he runs. one season they're going to lead the league in defense, and the next season they lead the league in offense. He's an amazing coach, and I don't ever count the Spurs out until they're out.
It's funny how you say he's the greatest coach of all time. I gotta get you on another episode. I had my guy Eric, man. He was on the show a while back, and he swears up and down he can debate you on that. He swears that Field is the man. But we'll discuss that another time.
Who does he like?
What did you say?
Who did he like?
He goes with Field as the greatest coach of all time. We had a debate, but you know.
I'd love to have this debate, man. You go ahead, Phil Jackson. He's great in major market teams, L.A., New York, Chicago. You got the third smallest market in San Antonio, and the dude never missed the playoffs. Greg Popovich. Like, bring him on the show. I'll bring you on the show. I got him.
That's no problem. How you feel like Kevin?
Triangle. It's the triangle of bust. Greg Popovich creates systems every other day based on different dudes he has. Like, it's not comparable.
Hey, what's your mind on Kevin Love's big payday today? Wow, the Cleveland Cavaliers are under construction.
Let's not forget that Kevin Love is a certified superstar in Minnesota. This is a guy who, like, he had a handful of 30 games. Doesn't look flashy when he's out there, but he was like Jokic before Jokic, you know, which is like does his stuff. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I gotta have to next with a situation that you're looking at. Let's go into Cleveland, man. Like, what does they have? Kevin Love is still at a great time in his career. I think you're going to see him take on the role as being the team leader over there. I don't have a reason to not. What other options in Cleveland?
I said the same thing. How do you feel about Willie, the LeBron and the MJ? Who you think's net worth is better? LeBron's.
Well, I know. Right now, MJ's got to beat right now. But I think that the opportunities for are just higher in a modern threat. What Michael did was pioneer a couple of things. First celebrity spokesperson. I mean, he made a lot of money from endorsements. But he's the first dude to create his own shoe brand. And that's where the majority of Michael's financial success comes. I don't think LeBron will develop a shoe brand to the level of age that Jordan did in Jordan. He's got other industries that he's looking to branch into, I'd say, in a similar way that Michael did with the shoe industry. LeBron James owns a production company. James has recently sold other like Chinese producers. LeBron James is starting to stick his nose in all kinds of ancillary industries, leverage his brand into major paydays. He's able to sell shoes. He's going to push products. He's going to do all the ways that superstars supply income streams. But because of his ingenuity and the level of his brand, he's going to have production companies. He's going to have facilities. He's going to have He's going to own a basketball team the same way that NBA owns the Hornets. I think that we're going to see a higher performing team. LeBron owns it, and there's new reports coming out. LeBron football team as well. So I think that his vision is high level. I think Michael helped the idea of what really is possible. I think we'll see LeBron come in and capitalize that. And see any other professional athlete.
That's what I basically said too. And like Michael Jordan wasn't even a billionaire. All owners were a billionaire until he became. It took him a while to become a billionaire for the Charlotte Hornets. LeBron has a $1 billion contract. LeBron's contracts were probably bigger than basketball contracts alone, probably bigger than Jordan's. I know he has multiple streams of income, and I think Michael Jordan sold his Jordan brand. That's why people don't say Jordan when they say the Jordan brand, because the brand has been sold to somebody else, and I want to say they the ones who are reaping the benefits off of it now. I'm not saying Jordan doesn't have that, things going, but I'm looking at LeBron like this is going to be real. He's probably, to me personally, going to be better than Magic Johnson. And even though Magic Johnson got the baseball team a little bit partial ownership with the Lakers, but I really see nothing but this guy is the ultimate athletic businessman I've ever seen in
And
my
we talk
life.
we talk about LeBron. We talk about LeBron like he's some wise old man. Dude's like 33 years old. Like in California, we call him a kid. You know, it's like you're a 33-year-old kid who's still like in an apartment. Like the dude has got so many years ahead of him to do all kinds of stuff. Like where was Michael at when he was 33?
No, he won't know what near that. This dude is acting, and he has multiple streams of income. On to football, to the NFL. How do you feel about the Julio Jones situation? Him sitting out or holding out. You think it's just a phase for now, or you just think that he's trying to really go somewhere else?
Well, I'll say this. First off, I support anybody fighting for what they feel is theirs. So whatever kind of action you need to take to make sure you got yours, do it. Because the owners will say, be loyal, honor the contract. But those are the same dudes who are going to trade right away or touch you at the end of long-term. So I really advocate for anybody doing that. When it comes specifically down to Julio, he averages more yards per game than I think any other receiver ever. But that's like, and the dude should be better than the dude is. Like, this guy doesn't catch touchdown passes. Muhammad Sanu is outperforming him at the end of the season anyway. If Julio can get it, by all means, go and do it. It's an anomaly when it comes to receivers. I'll say this. Des Bryant was an anomaly as well. Jordy Nelson has been an absolute production machine for the Green Bay Packers. Both those this year. So Julio Jones, do what you got to do. I'm not surprised if anything happens. I'm not surprised if they cut him. I'm not surprised if they trade him. I'm not surprised if it's not there. We're in territory right now.
I say the same thing. I feel like he's just ready to be out, and he feels like that he wants to get back to the championship. I know I had an argument the other day where he went a year ago, a year before, but that's a year before, and it was under a different coordinator. He was under Kyle Shanahan. Steve Sarkisian doesn't fit what Julio was trying to do. And you seen how tough it was for them guys with a top 5 quarterback, Matty Ice, on your team, and it's tough for you it's struggling to score points compared to when they had Kyle Shanahan, where they were just scoring points easily outside of the Super Bowl incident. So I mean, like, I see why he's leaving. I mean, I see why he's not happy, and I see that he really wants to win. He's getting at that climb. He's about to be past his prime, so it's now or never. Some of them guys don't have that chance, so he had a chance to Super Bowl. He want to go to another one. I don't think he sees that in Atlanta. I really just don't think he sees it in Atlanta. My next topic, football. Todd Gurley gets the big payday. How do you feel about that? And also, how should Le'Veon Bell feel as well?
Le'Veon Bell's trying to get every bit of what Todd Gurley just got. And we're looking at players. We are in a evolution, a metamorphosis for football right now. When you have running backs catching the ball as much as they are now, it's not fair to just call these dudes running backs the way we typically have. I mean, Le'Veon Bell catches more passes per season than I'd say the majority of actual wide receivers do. This dude is such a high level of production for this team. I understand him full well doing what he can. Right back to that earlier point of fight for what you can get. I get that. I get it from the Steelers side as well. They franchise tagged the man. And they paid a lot of other players as well. I don't know what the money's there. You've got to find a way to get it. It's also pretty easy to pick up. I'm saying you're going to get a guy like Le'Veon Bell, only 3 out there left right now. But we're seeing a lot of other teams pull out some magic with some draft running backs. Whether or picking like saw the not the Philadelphia Eagles meant not a big game guy. They paid for company able to get LeGarrette Blount agency and insane run at a cost that is not even close to what Le'Veon Bell is. I hope Le'Veon Bell's able to make it work in Pittsburgh, but if not, I'm sure some of congratulations, Todd Gurley, a shell of the offense they are with. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen with the new or lack of respect running get now and are going to get in the future, considering the NFL offenses.
All right, so that's my thing. Like, Le'Veon Bell is not trying to get paid just off of running back pay. He's trying to get paid off of his athletic ability. That's where the problem is with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is trying to pay him off of running back ability. This guy can go down the field and probably beat some of the best corners on the outside. Not just linebackers, the best corners. And go for 14, 20 something plus yards. Pass, not no little screen pass. Not just that. He can even catch down the field passes as well. So he gives you a variety of things, which probably makes him the best running back overall in football. Now, if you just say running back, handoff running back, Todd is amazing. But if you say every statistical point of an athlete, Le'Veon Bell is the best by far. Not even close.
Well, I would say really not close. You got to factor in my man David Johnson out of Arizona. He had a whole year off last year.
That's right. I forgot about him. David Johnson was solid, but he was hurt last year. So we're going to see if he can do that about this injury.
Do you know that 2 years ago, David Johnson was the Associated Press wide receiver of the year? He was the wide receiver of the year. David Johnson is a running back averaging over 4.5 yards per carry. He was the wide receiver of the year. So like him, Le'Veon Bell, and Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley stepped up his receiving game a lot last year. Still not on that Le'Veon Bell label. Le'Veon Bell's the king, but watch out for my man David Johnson. He's gonna remind you this year.
And I see Ty having another big year under Sean McVay because Sean McVay knows how to use. He's like a Greg Popovich in basketball. He knows how to put his players in positions to score. Hot take. This is my hot take of the night, and then we'll get to the conclusion of Raw Mind Sports. GM. Who would you want as your GM? Danny Green, Sam Presti, or Rob Pinelli?
Right, I got to go. What Boston has done these last couple of years, Danny Ainge, Brad Stevens, everybody else in that organization, it's unreal, and it's not even close as far as I'm concerned. This team was 2 years ago was number 1 in the East and had the first overall pick. That's some NBA 2K stuff right there. You're able to be the best team in the East and have the first overall pick that you trade to get another first round pick to bump down to the 3rd spot, and you pick up Jason Tatum and pass on Markelle Fultz, who then you meet in the playoffs. Markelle Fultz is sitting on the bench for a did not play coach's decision. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum is booming LeBron James. Like, Boston, man.
I agree. I said Sam Presti too because he done made some moves with little or nothing, with little bit of money to make it. Boston, everybody counted out Danny Ainge when he got rid of the big three with, well, Ray Allen left, but when he traded KG and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn, I want to say, something happened there with that, but they kind of disappointed, but he ended up coming back with a strong team. And even with Isaiah Thomas, even though he's been hurt, he actually knew what he was getting for. Most people would have told him he was absurd getting rid of Isaiah Thomas. But really, when you look at his team now, you're like, do you really want Isaiah Thomas over these guys? I don't think so. Would I take Isaiah Thomas over Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum? Then you had a chance to trade for Kyrie Irving. Then you got a backup with Rozier. You got 2 point guards. Then you add Gordon Hayward. And then you got Monroe. Then you got Al Horford. Guys who are versatile, who are unselfish. And then they signed Marcus Smart back. He got paid. For his role, he got paid pretty good for what he does for that team. So I say to myself, those are the best. I mean, Danny Ainge is the best. I like Sam Presti. If I'm going to say I go with somebody, I like Sam Presti. But being realistic on Raw Mind Sports, Danny Ainge is really the best GM in basketball as we speak right now. In my conclusion, Raw Mind Sports, people, new players to new teams, who knows what's going to happen? All I can do is say, stay tuned. Austin Sill, man, appreciate you coming on the show out of California, man. Try to freeze up your stuff. You said it's liquid out there. It's that hot. It's scorching.
Up in that bathroom, yeah, I will.
I don't want you to melt either, man. I want you to come back on the show too, man.
Oh, shit. Oh, you froze out. I lost you there. I lost you. I froze out there for a second.
I said, I hope you don't melt, man. I want you to come back on the show too as well. You know, I know it's hot.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, send some ice or something, man. We need it right now.
Well, that concludes our show, people on Raw Mind Sports. You guys take care. Stay tuned for the next episode.